it was crazy that because we had to kind of, hide our relationship all year. And then we see the trailer and it goes from like 0 to 100 and showing the whole world that we're getting married in Vegas. So
I'm super excited for season three of Southern Hospitality, and I'm so excited to have you both together with me today because you have people really talking out there on the internet.
yeah,
Now,
no, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, I was gonna say, let's get it official. Are you dating? Are you married? What is going on, guys?
Well, it's pretty crazy. We're obviously together. We're in a home where it's very wholesome and Christmassy right now. But it was crazy that because we had to kind of, hide our relationship all year. And then we see the trailer and it goes from like 0 to 100 and showing the whole world that we're getting married in Vegas. So it's very complex. I would love to like say like a definitive answer, but it's such an epic moment in the season to like, show you a ring or anything would be too big of a spoiler.
Yeah.
And I really want people to follow like our love journey throughout the summer and see like what happens.
So we're just saying together right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are very much so together.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting here. So how long have you been together now? You said it's been about a year?
No, I think it's been probably like 7 months.
Seven
We
months.
I think it feels like a lot longer because I feel like I don't know, I've had feelings for Maddie for about 4 years, so I feel like it feels like longer to me, but I think for her it's been, just us being boyfriend and girlfriend and being together, it's been about 7 or 8 months.
Oh,
Yeah, when the
that's exciting.
season was filming, we just started dating. So I feel like there's a lot of transformative things happen throughout, our love story and stuff like that, especially like me still having doubts or like just trust issues from my past and stuff. So I feel like it's interesting watching, our story play out.
Yeah, we're getting in at like the ground level because Joe, like you said in season one, you had feelings for Maddie, and now we're seeing this kind of play out. Maddie, how did things shift for you where suddenly you were like, actually, maybe we give things a try?
I feel like I was out of my relationship, my with my ex, and I feel like I, wanted to put myself out there and stuff, and I feel like there's no one I trusted more than Joe, and I feel like it was a risk to take because he was my coworker and best friend, so it was just like hard for me to make that risk, and when I did, it seemed to be, worth it to where we are now.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, that's got to be a great time for you when you realize that all of your feelings towards Maddie are now being reciprocated.
Yeah, and I really do think timing is everything. It's even going back to season one, she was like, "Be a man. Why didn't you tell me this the whole time?" And I feel like when she started developing feelings for me, I think that she felt the same way. It's a very like the unknown is scary for us because we're so comfortable with each other as best friends. But I feel like it came to a point where we couldn't hide our feelings any longer, and taking that leap of faith was very difficult. But it just goes to show that it can be the best thing. It could either, it could have blew up in our faces or been like it is now, which is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh, that's so exciting to hear. I know people always say you should date your best friends. Do you guys feel like you're kind of proof positive of that?
Yeah, I feel like, especially for me, it's so refreshing being in a relationship where you have built trust and you know each other versus, meeting someone, sleeping with them and getting into a relationship and then you kind of get to know them, kind of thing. So I feel like having that trust that was already built was really, really, really important to me. And it makes me feel like I can, be myself and be independent and the hardworking person that I am, not worried about like, my relationship. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's night and day, um, comparative to my ex.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen you in like a full-on relationship, Joe. We've seen you like, dating people too. I'm kind of curious to hear from each of you how this relationship will show a different side of you to people who are tuning in. Maddie?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm super secure in my relationship, and I feel like that definitely shows and that I trust him and that it's not toxic comparative to my other relationships. But I also feel like I have learned a lot. You know what I mean? Whether or not, the details of the situation, I feel like I learned a lot, even like in the past and stuff like that was my first time ever getting cheated on in my
Mhm.
life. And I feel like that was really hard for me to like guide and heal from and stuff like that. And I feel like, you know, you kind of see my healing journey also with that, as well as me starting a new love story that is like not toxic at all and very night and day.
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I love what you said. And that's like, you know what my parents say as well, is like you should always date your best friend. But
Mhm.
we're best friends, but we're also each other's biggest fans.
Yeah.
So like for me to be, because we're partners, but I'm also like when she's DJing, I'm her biggest hype man. And I know like, hopefully one day when I open up my business or my restaurant, she'll be my biggest supporter. So I think that's so important as well. And yeah, I think timing's a lot. I think Maddie, she said to me, a few months back, she says, I always knew that you're going to be my person eventually, but I had to make sure that you're going to become that person because I still had a lot of things to work out. And
You got to
I,
go through all the toads, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Oh,
we live,
this is
yeah.
giving rom-com. I love this.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what has it, I mean, Joe,
Rom-com.
you said it was tough for you guys to like hide and kind of keep your relationship on the down low until the trailer came out. Were there any moments where you were like, oh no, we've slipped up or people are gonna figure it out?
I feel like I loved the privacy just from being in a relationship on television in the past. I was, kind of like Joe, like this time you kind of need to cherish,
Mhm.
but I also feel like, I don't know, how did you
I
feel?
think I was more like the girl in this situation, like the stereotypical, like, why don't you
Yeah, yeah,
post with
yeah.
me more? Why don't you
No, but
put,
there was one time that the other Joe Bradley, he's on Below Deck. He did
Yeah.
go and watch What Happens Live, and he was like,
oh my
"Oh,
God. Yeah,
yeah."
like, cause
That was the one time I was
we'd
like,
work so hard because it's so hard, I'm not. For the first time ever, I wanted to post with someone like that bad because we're
Yeah.
together every day, and I'm like, I want to shout it from the mountaintops, like I'm with the love of my life. And then the other Joe Bradley from Below Deck goes and watch what happens, and he goes, "Oh, I was with the other Joe
Joe
Bradley,"
and his girlfriend, she's a DJ, Maddie. I'm like,
and
we were like, oh,
you can tell Andy was like, "Whoa, what was that?"
The Joe
but
Bradley group chat was popping off that night, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, I was like, "What the hell, man?" Yeah. But
Oh,
no,
that's so funny.
it was just fun because like we live in such a small town and we don't really hide it. We're definitely very professional when we're at work together. But we're gonna go to dinner and like live our lives and hold hands and kiss. We're not like the biggest PDA people, but people definitely knew in this town and our families knew and our
Mhm.
friends. But I'm excited for people that watch the show to kind of see our love story unfold. So we care about that as well. It's like, we worked really hard and yeah, we can't wait.
Now we all get to watch it. What was it like getting the response? I mean, the trailer comes out, everyone is immediately like, wait, what is going on? Was that fun for you guys, or was it a little bit
yeah,
like
it
intense?
went from like I thought maybe it'd be like, oh my gosh, they're together, and it was like, oh my gosh, they got married, and I feel like we were like, oh my goodness, like this has to be such a shock.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm excited for you guys to see the journey of our relationship and where it is now, and um, watch that play out.
Yeah, obviously the Vegas wedding had everyone like talking and tweeting and all that jazz. I know, Joe, you said there's not much you can say to not spoil it, but is there anything that you can kind of tease around that to give people just a little hint as to what's coming?
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing that was on my mind on the flight home after the wedding was having to talk to her parents. So we're very close with our family. So, you know, telling her dad afterwards was definitely hilarious, but it was just kind of like a huge shitstorm of everything that comes with a wedding in Vegas and making crazy decisions, but no regrets, and I'm excited for everyone to see what happens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm excited to see it too. Now, obviously, like starting a new relationship is so fun and there's all sorts of butterflies and stuff, but it's also figuring out what that looks like for you. You're both super busy people. Were there any bumps in the road or challenges that you had to work out together?
I think there's just normal growing pains, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate. Like even though we might she's a DJ and I work at a club. Like we live a crazy life, but all the problems of growing as a couple are very relatable to everyone else going through that. And I'm not really worried to watch it because I think we had an amazing summer. It was nothing like too major, but it's definitely like as your feelings grow for someone, it's also scary because you don't know what's gonna
Yeah, I
happen in the
definitely feel
future.
like my DJ career in the past year has really taken off. And, you know, you know, I'm gone a lot of the weekends traveling and stuff and playing. And I feel like in the season, Joe expresses a little concern of, me being gone all the time and stuff and living a different lifestyle. And I feel like if anything, Joe has, been so supportive about it and like my biggest hype man, if not like wanting to attend every show and like be the guy dancing on stage and stuff. So I feel like in a way, it's just all growing pains and watching that play out on the show. It's gonna be really cool to see.
Yeah, and you're both in a really unique position where you get to watch your own love story kind of play back. Do either of you have a moment where you're like, I can't wait to see what that looked like for an outsider, or how the cameras captured a particular moment?
I mean, definitely the wedding for me.
Mhm.
We have like a
Just how
really
all that
yeah.
plays out. I feel like it's crazy. So I'm excited to see that. But I also feel like it's interesting because we just started dating. So it's not like you saw kind of us get into a relationship. It's more so you watch us in a relationship, very, very fresh, and the growing pains of that.
Yeah, we're trying to navigate this new fresh relationship and we're also trying to navigate our crazy friend group and all the problems they have with theirs.
Yeah.
So that was new to us
We're
and
living in the past and in the present at the
yeah.
same time.
Yeah, and we're trying to be like in our little lovey-dovey bubble, but at the same time, there's bombs being dropped all around us. So that's going to be funny to kind of rewatch. And there's a lot of really romantic moments, and I'm excited to see all this.
Oh, that's exciting. And you do bring up that there is like drama outside your little love bubble. And I was gonna say, I feel like you guys are really off of the relationship like hot seat this summer. And we're gonna get to see some of your other friends and castmates really take that hot seat, including Will and Emmy. We see in the trailer, obviously, there's some like new infidelity rumors that pop up. What can you tell us about where you fall in all of that and what team were you taking there?
I feel like so many things transpire about Will and stuff that it makes me think that, I mean, some of it has to be true or a slight bit of it is true. But I feel as if you're going to have to watch to kind of see because there's so many things that kind of come into play. But it's also interesting the dynamic of the friend group and how that works and stuff. I feel like Emmy and I's relationship kind of progresses and stuff like that. But then it's also at the same time uncomfortable watching her go through all of this.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like that's a hard thing to also navigate, especially for us. And like we want other couple friends and stuff like that. So I feel like for us, you know, we took a back seat on a lot of things, but we also were like involved with some other things. So I feel like it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah. What about you, Joe? Any additional thoughts there?
Kind of what I learned this summer, even when we like want to stay out of it, somehow with this group, we're always stuck in the middle of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
even when we try to stay out of it, but I really do think that, you know, I think that we're kind of in between on the will and everything. There's a lot of rumors, but there's not a lot of proof, until we
Yeah.
see like receipts. I think we've both been through a lot of things in the past where there's a lot of rumors, especially in Charleston and this friend group with TJ and everything. Until we find proof, we don't want to point fingers, but I'm over here in the corner just praying that it's not true because
Yeah.
of Emmy
Yeah.
and Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and there's all sorts of newcomers stirring up drama too this season. I would love to hear your thoughts. Who is being named, the biggest pot stir? Who is, sweetest? Who's best new addition? Who are your faves?
I feel like Michaels is my friend that comes on, and I love all the new people and everything, but I feel like he really makes an impression. I think right out the gate, and I feel like he also kind of goes through some relationship stuff too. So I'm excited to see that. And I definitely think that, he kind of brought it. I'm really excited to see that. And we also have three other new cast members, and I'm excited to see their stories. It's interesting to have a little bit like younger people coming in and, working at the club and stuff like that. A lot of new faces. So it's exciting. And
Yeah, I think Lake is like definitely like super
Mhm.
sweet. They all bring like a little bit different of a flavor. You know what I mean? Like Molly, she's coming in and she's super spicy, and it's almost kind of like you don't want to cross that one. And then
Yeah.
Lake is just a sweetheart and like kind of like little sister vibes. And then Michael's is a super complex, hilarious, amazing person too. And then Austin is kind of seems like, a little bit more stable and put together than the rest of us. So they all bring something different, and I think they just are all perfect fits for our friend group.
Yeah. Well, I am so excited to see the new dynamic, your dynamic together as a couple. Is there anything else that you want to say about the season itself?
Um, I'm just like about this season, like everything we've talked about, other than like our love story and our friendships with everyone.
Mhm.
I think that there's just so many big things that happen this season and that we don't want to spoil. And like every week seems like there's something huge happening in Charleston. So I'm just excited for everyone to see what happens.
And
yeah.
what's next for both of you guys?
Maddie's DJ career is going amazing. And with the new year and everything, I'm really trying to find the balance of focusing on my career in hospitality, but also like being her biggest supporter. But we're just in a really good place. We've been traveling a lot, spending a lot of time with family, but also trying to focus on work.
Yeah, awesome. Well, things sound like they're going really well for you guys. Thank you so much for talking with me about the new season and about your relationship. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens.